Hi everyone, I'm Chao Hong. You could also call me Hong Lao Shi. So I'm the visiting scholar at the Penn State University Park. And we also have Deng Lao Shi. And then so we are the two visiting scholars, and also we recently have Chen Jiahui Lao Shi joined us at the Penn State University Park.
Hey guys.
Okay. And today, it's a great honor for us to share with all of you about the information session about study abroad scholarship. And before we start, I would like to introduce the Mandarin Training Center Vice Director, Chao-Mei, Professor Du.
Good evening. Nice to meet you online. And thank you for coming and join us.
Yeah. And then Professor Du would help us. And then if you have any questions at the end about learning Chinese in Taiwan. Also, we have Professor Ko Yupeng Lao Shi. She's a Chinese coordinator at the Penn State University Park.
Good evening, everyone. 大家好，很高兴见到大家。
Yes. And today we also have Melvin Xie Lao Shi from Brandywine campus to join us.
嗨，大家
谢老
好，
师好，谢谢你。
你们好，谢谢，谢谢。
好, so I'm just gonna start, and then for the Q&A, we would save till the end. So the first 30 minutes, we will share with you guys about the short-term scholarship and then the long-term scholarship. And then we will have a Q&A, Akira, who will join us for sharing some of her experiences in Taiwan. And then we'll have a Q&A session. So feel free to have your questions, and then we'll have that at the end. Okay, so everyone can see my slides, yeah? Okay. So today, this is the second year. We have the Taiwan Huayu BEST Study Abroad Scholarship with Taiwan Normal University and Penn State. And then, so this year, I'm gonna, so for those of you who are curious about where's Taiwan and where are you going to for the study abroad opportunity, that's where what we will introduce today. Okay, so Taiwan, where you are going, is located 7,000 miles away from where we are now. Okay, and then it's the South Asia, and then lots of you might hear about Taiwan, and then the capital city, which is Taipei City, which is where you are going to study the Mandarin over there. Okay. And then for the academic, we have 9 colleges and 62 departments. So it's a huge school, and then we also have two campuses at the National Taiwan Normal University. So far we have 14,000 students and also 1,400 international students over there. So when you go to study at the MTC Mandarin Training Center, you will meet all different students from different countries, not just the Penn State students. And then the most 3 well-known college is the College of Education, College of International Studies and Social Science, and also the College of Management. Okay, and a great benefit of going to National Taiwan Normal University is we are at the NTU system. So 3 top university alliance here, NTNU, and then you can see they're also very close. The other one is National Taiwan Normal University, and also the National Taiwan University of Science and Technology. So total, there's approximately about 700 English courses. And also, you could share all these 3 well-known universities, the library collections, courses, and facilities. And we also have the shuttle in between these 3 universities. So you are learning Chinese here at NTNU, the main campus. But if you're interested to check the other 2 campuses, or also like use their library resources, you are really welcome to just use the shuttle to go to there. And then For starting at the National Taiwan Normal University, there's definitely we provide some support and counseling for you guys. So the emergency support and assistance, we do have the student advisors, and then accessible facilities, also one-on-one mentoring tutorial for courses for you guys, and professional consulting service. Okay, you have the Student Counseling Center and the basic medical care and health education. So the health center, we have the health center on campus, but plus you could also go to the self-paid medical treatment, which is just right next to the campus, and it's very easily to go. And then the health insurance in Taiwan is very low and very good. All the students love it. And more than campus, what's the life you are going to enjoy at campus besides learning Chinese is you have more than 100 student clubs you can join. And then the libraries, laboratories, computer labs, and then the tutorium. Personally, I'm also a PhD candidate at National Taiwan University, and then I love our swimming pool at campus. It's a really good one, and then also have a spa pool, sauna, steam room. And besides, you could also have the outdoor sport venue, which lots of people are running over there and then do different exercise or playing the basketball, or volleyball all over there. And the convenient, it's a really, really great location in Taipei city center. So you have two subway lines which are close. And then also besides the subway, you could use the buses, taxi, or public bikes. Personally, I also really love the public bike. So get some exercise, but besides you could also take a look of the city. And it's very convenient neighborhood. As I say, it's just right in the Taipei city center. And so on campus, you are same as a Penn State, okay? You have the post office, and then the banks and restaurant, cafes, supermarkets, like also night markets. So after 8 o'clock, everything is still very vividly. So there's a night market just right next to the National Taiwan Normal University, and then 24-hour convenience store. I think probably around 4 or 5 convenience stores around the campus. So it's very, very convenient for every of you. And so the daily life, when you go to the Mandarin Training Center, you will have this the student ID card. But plus the benefits, it is also an easy card for you guys. So you could take whenever you're taking the MRT or the metro or the Metro Taipei MRT or the buses or the U-bike, and then you are free to use this. And then plus it might has also student discounts when you are taking the transportation. And then now let's take a quick look of what's the learning experiences in the Mandarin Training Center and your top choice for learning Chinese. So let's take a look of the videos. Let me know if you could hear the voice or no.
Mandarin Chinese, the most widely spoken language in the world. It's the key to discovering Chinese culture and history, and one of the world's most important languages for conducting business. Thousands of students come to Taiwan each year to learn Chinese and pursue advanced degrees. The Mandarin Training Center of National Taiwan Normal University is a highly popular choice for non-native Chinese speakers interested in learning Chinese. Welcome to National Taiwan Normal University. Allow us to give you a tour of the Mandarin Training Center. Mandarin Training Center, or MTC, was established in 1956. It's Taiwan's oldest and largest language center dedicated to teaching Chinese as a second language. We boast more than 60 years of Chinese teaching experience and have direct access to the university's academic resources. The features of MTC's program include standardized curriculum design, effective placement and achievement tests, small-sized classes that ensure efficient learning, and interactive teaching methods, which are fun and enjoyable. The seasonal program is a 3-month intensive program which leads our students step by step in learning the language. Each academic term of the seasonal program begins in March, June, September, and December every year and run for 3 months. Students attend classes every weekday. A 2-month summer session is available, running from July to August. All classes are small-sized, with just 6 to 10 students. Placement tests are given to every student before they join the full Chinese immersion program. Most students find themselves able to handle daily conversations after 3 to 6 months of training. If you cannot stay in Taiwan for a long time, we also offer customized courses, Language and Culture Study Tour, and Express Chinese Program are packaged courses designed for adult learners. The Mandarin Summer Camp caters to children and teenagers aged between 8 and 15. Joining these programs, you'll be able to learn Chinese while exploring Taiwan within a short period of time. If you really don't have time to visit Taiwan, we also offer customized online courses that suit your learning needs and level. You can choose one-on-one tutoring or learn with a partner. Learning a foreign language opens the door to another culture. It's also a window to a wider world. Learning a language is not just practical, it also enriches your life. Come to Taiwan. Come to study with MTC. Let us be your guide to a happy journey of language learning and self-empowerment.
So that was a glimpse of like what the experiences you might have when you go study learn Chinese at the Mandarin Chinese Center at a National Taiwan Normal University. And then after a broad introduction, now I'm getting more details about the scholarship. So first, we have 2 options here. One is a short-term 2 to 3 months during the summer, and the other is a long-term one for about 1 semester or 1 academic year, which Duan Laoshi would tell you guys more details later. So firstly, the scholarship, no matter it's which terms, you receive about NTD 25,000 per month. So currently, it's probably approximately around 800 to 900 USD dollars. And the second, you will participate in the NTNU service learning program, which we'll talk about later. And then this is one of your obligations. And you are encouraged and required to take the TOEFL exam before or after arriving in Taiwan. So we have 2 TOEFL tests coming up after the spring break at Penn State. And if you really couldn't make it to take a TOEFL test before you go to Taiwan, then affidavit letter is required for those who don't provide the TOEFL scores. And also, this shortened program is welcome to every Penn State students. No matter if you're at undergraduate or you're at the graduate students, we welcome all the Penn State students, even you don't have any Chinese learning background for the shortened. So the test of Chinese, the TOEFL test, which we talked about earlier, the name is Test of Chinese as a Foreign Language Certificate. And then this is a standardized test for non-native speakers of Chinese. Okay, and as I said, it welcomes all levels of Chinese learning background. And then for long-term ones, we will advise you reach novice 2 before applying. Okay, and then after you go to Taiwan and then study over there, especially for the 1-year ones, for the long-term ones, you must take the additional TOEFL test in Taiwan. And then advice after the whole year academic year, you will be able to reach to A2 level after the participation. Okay, so more details about the short-term ones. The qualification is you are the current Penn State students. So for example, now it's the time you submit the application. If you are graduating in May, this coming May, you are still able to apply for it because at the moment you're applying for is you are the current Penn State students. And the short-term one, you will be able to choose either 2 or 3 months based on your schedule. And then the application here is we will join the seasonal program at Mandarin Training Center, which you might not learning Mandarin with your current Penn State students. You will have more opportunity to get to know more students from different backgrounds. And then you will take a placement test before the class starts. And then so the placement test would, after the placement test, you will be able to divide it, based on your language level, you will be divided into different courses. And some questions that when we were visiting all different classes, some students might ask, oh, I'm learning a simplified Chinese here at Penn State. So don't worry about this because when you join the courses at the MTC, the textbook provide both simplified and traditional. And then for the homework wise, submit the homework, you could also submit the simplified ones. Okay, and then the application deadline here is for the summer term, this coming up. So this will be the oh, sorry, there's a 3 month and 2 month. But though the deadline is until April, but I strongly recommend you to submit the application before the end of February, because from the experiences last year, it did take some time for all the processing of reviewing the applications, and then also you're gonna apply the visa, all these different things. So, and then before your departure, we will have another orientation for those who are going to study abroad in Taiwan. And I just checked with Jen, the staff and MTC. So this morning so far, we have about 9 students who apply, the Penn State students who apply for the short-term. And we welcome like 20 students to apply. So there's still some spaces, but I strongly recommend you to submit your application by the end of February. Okay, and then so the application materials, it's you will ask one of your instructor and then ask her kindly to provide 1 letter of recommendation and then send it to the Huayu BEST, the scholarship named Huayu BEST at MTC NTNU.edu.tw. And then also fill out the application form, which a lot of you have that one in hand. But if you need a e-version, feel free to email me and Deng Laoshi. And also you will need to fill out the MTC language background. So basically, the application you will need with 3 things. And then you are the current Penn State student. Okay. And now talking about where accommodation. So you have actually you have more than 3 choices. So now we are list a couple of them. So first, it's the International House of Taipei. So it's about like $300 per month. And then we also have the NTNU Extension Center, which provided by National Autonomous University, and then it's right next to the MTC. So right next to this Chinese center you are going to learn. So this would be probably the most convenient ones. It's about $970 per month. But lots of students we know, they also just find their house or like rent with their friends like in Taipei. So this would be lower prices, about like 600 per month. So you are encouraged to look for your own private housing. And but the price might be very different from $200 to about 700. Yeah, so the security deposit usually it's like 1 or 2 months. So you usually need to put a deposit at the beginning. Okay, so keep in mind you have all different options to find the places. And then if you need some recommendations for like renting in Taipei, we also have the Penn State students who went for last year, and then we could ask them to give you some recommendations. Okay. So for this summer term short-term study abroad, there's 2 month and 3 month. So the 2 month, feel free if you need to take any screenshots, or we would also share with you guys today's information session. So for the 2 month, it's from July 3rd to August 23rd. Okay, and then for the 3 months is June 2nd to August 23rd. And I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Penn State the next semester start around like August 21st, around that time. But like couple days difference, like you need to come back to Penn State earlier. It's fine as long as you let the MTC, the Mandarin Training Center, know earlier. And then also some people I would really recommend for the 3 months. Okay, and then but like the time frame with this here, it did have some arrangements if it couldn't really figure schedule, but like couple days difference are totally fine. So we have 2 kinds of courses. One is a regular one, one is an intensive one. So the regular courses is like 15 hours per week. So from Monday to Friday, each day you learn Chinese about 3 hours. So it would include 10 hours of language classes and 5 hours of the multitask language training courses, which you got to you will have like a selection of the classes, but you are learning in a bigger group in this 5 hours. And the other one is the intensive one. So the intensive classes, it's like the concrete 15 hours of the language classes per week. So every day you have 3 hours. Oh, sorry, for the regular is 2 hours per day. And then for the intensive one is 3 hours per day from Monday to Friday. And then besides the Chinese language courses, the MTC Training Center do also provide lots of different activities, cultural events, and it would depend on at that moment what's the activities they provide. And some activities might need registration fee, but some, like for example, you guys are maybe doing a summer field trip to somewhere and not in the Taipei city, something like that, but you also have lots of free time during the weekend. Got to explore the Taipei city, and not only Taipei city, we have the high-speed train. So taking the high-speed train from Taipei city to the south, for example, Kaohsiung, it's only 1.5 hours. So you got lots of time on your own to explore this beautiful places. Okay, and now I want to give you like a glance of what the total cost might be. Okay, so for the airfare, I think maybe some of you already start to look up the airfare, so it might be different, but it's about like it's around 1,400 for the round trip tickets, and also I would still suggest you keep your health insurance while you have, but you would also compulsory you also need to get this group accident insurance, the extra one, but it's only costs you $10 for the whole period of the time. Okay, and so besides the clinic or the health center, it's all located in Taiwan Normal University. So it's very easy to reach, and then you like you don't really, you could just walk in if there's really like some emergency happens. It's very easy to walk in and then get the help at the campus. Okay, and then for the program cost and registration fee, might pass on like which you are choosing, the intensive or regular ones, but the estimate for the 3 months of the regular type, which this would be about $1,000, and then the program cost and the registration fee will need to be paid in advance. Okay, but after, so you will pay the, let's say you will pay the tuition first before you go to Taiwan, but after you reach to Taiwan, you you arrive in Taiwan, you will get to open the bank account in just near the MTC. Okay, so and then your scholarship will be all put it into your bank account that you opened in Taiwan. The local transportation, it's about, let's say for 3 months, it's $140. The transportation, it also depends on where you want to go, but the transportation fee is very low. And also the cost of living, the food is definitely one thing you want to explore as much as you could. And I know some of the students might be vegetarian. The vegetarian restaurants in Taiwan, it's also very good, very easy to reach. And so that's it. Total cost like approximately about $3,560. But again, it depends on different, like every of you like different expenses. And the other thing I want to just additional note is we have a Penn State student Jingting last year. So I know lots of you might think, okay, I got a scholarship and then about like $800 to $900 per month, but plus I may need to pay my tuition and the flight tickets. So we got to know one of our Penn State students, he also applied the second scholarship. So I just want to give you guys an additional note. And then it's called the Foreign Language and Area Studies Fellowships Program. So it's easy to apply. I think he got to get about $5,000 to cover his airfare and then his tuition. So if any of you have questions about additional scholarship on this, just email me and then I would give you the contact of the previous Penn State students who went last year. Okay, and then now we are gonna welcome Duan Laoshi. Duan Laoshi is gonna share with us about the long-term program for some of you might be interested.
谢谢洪老师. Good evening. 晚上好. Okay. Now let me introduce you about the long-term program. Okay. Next. It's very similar to short-term program. So here, please pay attention on the benefit and the duty part. You have to do service learning program. That you need to go to school, maybe elementary school, and you can communicate with them and teach these little students English. Okay, so if you need more details, maybe later we will explain for you. And another one, you have a chance to take at least one course from host department. So if you take one academic year program. Okay, next. So that is a service long-term program. So you need to provide. We provide you this opportunity for international students to discover this a sense of Taiwan with different angles and the culture exchange and intensive interaction. Okay, so you will be a teacher assistant, and you just teach them English. Okay, and you will get the transportation fee. So if you go to the school, maybe it's far from your place, you will reimburse the transportation fee. Okay, next. And please remind the application, please memorize the application period is from March to April. And you need to submit your application to the website, application website. And now we have 2 students submit this application. But I'm not sure if we have space for 2023. So maybe we can make sure later. And so now there are some documents you need to submit here for number 1 is application form, and number 2 study plan, number 3 is letter of recommendation from your teacher, okay, professor, and number 4 is official academic transcripts, okay, and enrollment certificate, and photocopy of passport, and admission fee receipt. Maybe some of you has the question about this part. So later we have a QA session. If you have this, if you have questions, just you can ask you can let us know. Okay. I think this is same as shortened program, right? So okay,
I'll skip this one.
Yes, you can skip. There are some useful links. Just feel free to if you want to know what are they, you can feel free to take a screenshot, or maybe we can share this PPT after our meeting. Okay.
Okay, I could take over here. So before we jump into Q&A section, we got some general questions we got from the students, like how long does it take to apply for a visa? So when you apply for the TACO for your visa number, the Taipei Economic like the office in New York, you will have to wait about like 2 to 3 weeks. So might need to be patient about that. And also that's why I also recommend you guys to submit the application as early as possible. And then the visa lasts to about 180 days. So this would be more than the time you stay in Taiwan. So, and then about the courses, well, we have to pay registration first, and then yes. So as I said earlier, we will need to pay registration first, and then after you arrive in Taipei, you would open the postal account, which is also just on campus. Okay, and then you will receive a scholarship. And the credit transfer. So we have Ko Lao Shi joined us later. So he will share about the credit transfer with, or if Ko Lao Shi wanna jump in at this moment.
Sure, thank you, Hong Lao Shi. So I prepared a quick slide so I can share that on my screen.
Okay. Okay, then I will give the time to you after this couple slides. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. And then will we receive a certificate after complete? And yes, how? So you definitely will receive a certificate. And then if for those credit needed, Ko Lao Shi is gonna share with us right now. So I'm gonna hand the time to Ko Lao Shi. And then after Ko Lao Shi sharing, we have two Penn State students join us tonight, Kira and Jingting. So they will join us for the Q&A session.
好，谢谢洪老师。Let me share my screen. Okay, give me 1 second. I think I need to do something with my, okay. System preference. Okay. Hong Lao Shi, do you think you can share that screen? Because I think something is wrong with my Zoom. It tells me I need to quit and reopen. I definitely don't want to do that. If I can send it to you, you can share on your screen and I can talk about that, okay?
Sure, sure.
谢谢洪老师. Let me. In fact, I can actually put that in chat so everyone can see it.
Oh.
It's just one page. Oops, I think I didn't send to everyone. One moment. Oh, so did you receive that?
Yes,
Okay.
I will share the script with every of you. Okay.
好，谢谢洪老师. Okay, so some of you who have applied or who are thinking about applying already asked me about credit transfer from NTNU. So this hopefully will give you a rough idea of what you should do in the order that is listed on this slide, okay? I recently communicated with Penn State Admissions about this, and because currently at the current stage, the NTNU summer program is not yet officially Penn State supported or affiliated program. So the credit transfer has to go through Penn State Admissions rather than Education Board Office, okay? And because of that, they would like each student before your departure to consult with them and talk about credit transfer. They may give you some guidelines or some other general information. But basically, what they need is just to know that you are going to NTNU and it's a summer program for how long, and you expect to learn Chinese there, you know, just some basic information. And I would say the consultation will be, you know, short, very informal, okay? But you just have to meet with them and let them know that you will be going to NTNU. So you can reach out to them by sending email to admissions@psu.edu. And you can copy me on that message so that I know you already reached out to them. In case they don't respond, I can follow up and request them to really, you know, respond to you as soon as possible. And after you meet with a Penn State admissions officer, please let me know if they remind you of anything or if they say something that you didn't know or unexpected. Just give me a brief update of the meeting between you and the admissions officer. Okay, that's what you want, something you want to do before your departure. And then another thing, I didn't list it here, but I'm pretty sure you almost all already know that Hong Lao Shi and Duan Lao Shi will organize the TOEFL test here on Penn State campus. So I definitely strongly recommend that you also take that before your departure. And if you want, you can take that again after you arrive in Taiwan. But taking it here, at least you get to know your current proficiency, and you get to know, what the test is like about on different skills, right? So that's something you need to do before departure. And upon arriving at NTNU, when you know which specific class, or let's say if it's a specific course that you'll be placed in, please email me as soon as possible to let me know your placement result, especially the specific textbooks you will use, because it's a series, if I understand correctly, it's a series of textbooks called the Contemporary Course in Chinese, and there are 6 volumes, I believe. So it depends on which textbook you use. It's like a sign or a symbol of which level you're at. So please let me know of that, because that could be part of an important factor to decide the course equivalency between MTC course and Penn State Chinese language course. And one thing I want to emphasize is when you are at NTNU, during your study at NTNU, please pay close attention to your attendance, and that's very important. According to Penn State admission officers, for programs like NTNU summer program, their general routine or their general protocol of calculating the credit transfer is based on how many semester hours, or how many classroom contact hours, or how many in-class hours that you completed during your study, right? So I think in general, 15 semester hours will equal to 1 Penn State credit. That means if you want to have 8 Penn State credits from this study, and use those 8 credits to count for, say, 2 Penn State Chinese language course, you need to have at least 120 attended hours while you're at NTNU. And notice that is something you will never be able to change after the study is over. Okay, after you come back to Penn State, if you were like, I'm only 3 hours left, there's no way to make up for that, right? So please keep that in mind. And keep in mind that maybe, inevitably on some day you may have to be absent from class if, say, you're not feeling comfortable, or you definitely need to rest well if you become sick or something. But depends on which type of class you're enrolled in. For example, for a regular class, missing 1 day means you miss at least 2 hours language study. And for intensive class, missing 1 day means you miss 3 hours of study. So, you can do the math yourself throughout the whole summer. By the end, if you want to receive at least 8 credits, Penn State credits from this summer study, you should have on your official final record of study at least 120 hours, attended hours, okay? And I will recommend regularly check your progress. I know some students will request interim record of study after the first month. I assume they will request to pay some money for that, but it shouldn't be a big deal. But that will, help you keep track of your progress in terms of your attendance, your progress in the program. And after you return, you should officially request that final record of study from NTNU, and you can write to this email, huayubest@mtc.ntnu.edu.tw, and request them to send that directly to Penn State admissions. Okay, not just to you, to Penn State admissions. Okay, and you can request them to copy you in the message, but make sure they send it to Penn State admissions, because that's how they will accept documents to start considering the request for credit transfer of a student. Okay, and you can follow up with Penn State admissions to confirm that they receive the record of study of yours, and they have their staff members to start initiating the process of calculating hours and processing the transfer. So eventually, what you will see on your audit, on your official Penn State audit, or let's say your transcript, after Penn State admission process this, it should be under a title called CHNS Chinese, our Chinese core title, CHNS General Transfer Credits. Okay, so if you have 120 hours at least, that means on your audit, eventually you will see CHNS General Transfer Credits 8, or more than that if you have more hours. Okay, and that's when, for those of you who would like to complete a Chinese major or minor and would like to use those transferred credits to count towards course required for major and minor, that's when you should start talking with Dr. Tom Spencer, who is the major and minor advisor for Asian studies, Chinese, Japanese, Korean. Talk with him, let him know that you have those credits already on audit, and he will be able to check that for you. And then he may consult with me about how those specific transfer credits can count towards your Chinese major and minor. Now, when he consults with me, by that time, I should already know pretty well what course you take at NTNU, what textbooks you use, because back at the time that you arrive at NTNU, you should already have told me that, right? So by that time, I can confirm with Dr. Spencer, say, okay, maybe these 8 credits of the students can count for Chinese 3 and Chinese 110. Okay, that means, let's say before you go to NTNU, you complete Chinese 1 and Chinese 2 at Penn State. And then after the summer, when you come back for the upcoming fall, because your credits can count for Chinese 3 and Chinese 110, you can go directly Chinese 401. Okay, so I believe that's everything of this loop or of this whole process. Okay, if you do not want to complete a Chinese major or minor, I believe those transfer credits will stay as CHNS general transfer credits on your transcripts. However, you can still consult with Dr. Spencer or me if you just want to use it to count for a specific Chinese language course. And we will have to then analyze that case by case. Okay. So hopefully this will make it straightforward to you. I know this is a little bit complicated, and it is indeed a little bit complicated compared with, when you go through the Educational Board Office. They have a different system, or let's say a parallel system, which process things differently. But for now, it is something we just have to do. We just don't have other options. Okay. I would say for Penn State admissions, they might not respond to you very efficiently, but they will respond to you. Okay, so have some patience, and definitely, like Hong Lao suggested, for example, before your departure, you need to consult with them, right? So definitely submit your application as early as possible, so you will have enough time to read before your departure to really work on these, connect with them, and then update with me. And we can discuss, your course plan. If you already know, okay, I'm going to complete a minor or major, I want to cover these 2 courses at Penn State. So we can have all of those on file, and then we'll see whether you will be able to be placed into the course you want to study at NTNU, right? Yeah, I believe that's everything about credit transfer. And I want to let you know that we are working with Educational Board Office to try to make NTNU program officially Penn State affiliated. That said, it will take some time, and it looks like we just cannot have that done before this upcoming summer. So we'll just still have to go through these options that you are seeing on screen. Okay. Yeah, well, that's everything about credit transfer, I believe. And if you have questions, feel free to also ask that along with other questions you have. Okay.
Thank you, Ko Lao Shi. And so now, so we have about 10 minutes for the Q&A session. And so feel free if you want to just type the questions at the chat box, or you want to just unmute yourself. Here we have for the short-term scholarship, we have Professor Du, the Vice Director of the MTC. And then for the long-term scholarship, if your questions related to that, we also have the Daniel, which is he's from International Affairs. And Kira, we have Kira here now. She's right now in Taiwan. She is using her long-term scholarship in Taiwan. And we also have Jingting, which he used 2 scholarship for the short-term scholarship. So feel free to just unmute yourself if you have any questions.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Not really so much about as much of the program itself, but I was just kind of curious if the PowerPoint and the files that you guys were kind of showing us as we were going through, if that will be kind of made available to review on our end, if that can be sent out or anything like that, or where we can get those.
Yes. So I will share with everyone after if there's anything need to adjustment, but I will share with you guys again via the Penn State email. Thank you. And then I think I saw Alyssa have a question at the chat box. For the long-term scholarship, there is a Hawaii BEST Scholarship application, there's the TECO and another.
On e6, the queen's gambit decline, knight to c3, knight to f6, and white plays bishop to g5, giving our knight to a queen. And we play knight to d7, obviously defending our knight with another knight, but more importantly, the unsuspecting white player might think that we just blundered pawn after c takes on d5, e takes on d5, and knight takes on d5. And it looks like we can't take back because then we just lose our queen. However, this is not the case.
Can you mute that? Mute that. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna find the slide for Alyssa about like all the details about like the application. Okay. And then I think Patrick, is there a deadline to sign up for the TOEFL test that will be run at Penn State? So Deng Laoshi, may you leave your email at the chat box for Patrick. So we Deng Laoshi will share with Patrick for I think the deadline is actually this Friday for the TOEFL test. So any of you are curious but you are not sure if you got to know the dates, which is the spring right after the spring break. So please email Duan Laoshi. She's gonna share her email with you guys. Any questions? Okay. So Samuel say, does our score on the TOEFL run through Penn State ensure our placement, or do we take another placement when we arrive in Taiwan? So you will have a TOEFL test first, which is totally free here at Penn State. But after you arrive in Taiwan, you would take another placement test for better to direct you to which level of the Chinese language courses. Okay. So Alyssa say, are year-long visas allowed for long-term scholarships? So Alyssa, may you turn on your mic? I'm not sure if I got understand your question regarding the visa.
It's mostly just like there was the visa that you guys had talked about with 180 days, and I just didn't know like if we were allowed to get the I don't know is there like a limit to how long we can stay for the program or something? I don't know.
For the long term or short term?
Long term.
Okay. So I think we have Kara and also we have Daniel. If any of you could help us.
Maybe I can answer that. If you're coming to the Taiwan to study this scholarship, long-term scholarship, then we will be provided with an ARC, the Alliance a resident card. So if the ARC will go according to the study period. So how long you study in Taiwan will be how long you will be having the resident card to stay in Taiwan. I hope that it can. Do I answer your question, Elisa? So it means that you are not getting a visa. So the visa is you're going to get a resident card, like alien resident card. Because if you're studying in Taiwan, yeah, if you study for 6 months, then it will be 6 months. If you study for 1 year, then it will be 1 year. Now, for the accurate date, then maybe I have to ask from the immigration office. Is that answering your question, Elisa?
I think I understand. But it's just a lot of terms that I don't know the difference of different stuff. Thank you though. Thank you.
Feel free if you have more questions, feel free to let us know. And I saw Nick at the chat box. I think this I might need the help from Taiwan about the vaccination requirements at this moment. Do they still need to provide any proof of the vaccination? Xingyi or Professor Du, do they still require to provide any vaccination records or anything?
No, I just returned from the United States in November. I don't remember filling out anything on any requirement for vaccination.
Okay, thank you. And then Nick, your second question, yes. So you don't need to take another TOEFL test if you already taken one before. Okay, but you're encouraged to take it to see if you have progress. Okay, and Cassandra, you're free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, so you mentioned the International House of Taipei. What is that, and like where is it located in terms of NTNU?
Okay, so good question. So you could so everyone could see the screen, right? So you could Google the International House of Taipei, and then I think that have like different information or the type of the rooms you could look up to. Okay, and Erica.
I know that some scholarships for study abroad, they take into account like what your major is. So are there certain majors that you have to be in or that put you at a higher probability of getting the scholarship? Like, does your major matter, I guess?
So I think for the Huayu BEST Scholarship, it will come to all academic backgrounds. But if you are curious about the FLSA scholarship, I think we have Ting here. Do you want to add on anything?
Not the long term.
Not for long term. Okay.
So
Yeah.
mine was short term, but really what FLAS is looking for is like, as long as you can complete language studies, so Chinese in this instance, an additional area of studies that's like related to your language, they'll take any major. So like, for example, I was international studies, but halfway through applying, I changed actually to cybersecurity, and that did not affect my application whatsoever.
Okay, thank you.
And then thank you, Kara. Kara just share her line, or in Taiwan we use line. It's like a WhatsApp. And then so she just share her line or Instagram at the chat box. So yeah, we're almost reached our time. But like, yeah, Kara, would you want to say anything to every of us?
Other than it's been amazing here. It's an amazing opportunity. I hope everyone that wants to apply can go. Just that, you know, the only warning I have really is that it gets so hot in the summer and that you must bring an umbrella. It is so different than Pennsylvania.
You will sweat. You will definitely sweat.
Yes. Oh my God. As someone who's only lives in Pennsylvania until traveling here, I miss the snow so much and I envy everyone.
Okay, cool. I don't miss the snow, but yeah, it's getting very cold these days. Okay. Any questions? So if you have more questions, I think maybe Jingting, if you wanna leave your contact information in the chat box, so like could ask either Kara or Jingting. Jingting, he used a short-term scholarship, so anything like related to living over there, you guys are free to ask them. And yes, so any questions, or if you don't have questions, feel free. You can leave the Zoom meetings. And we thank you so much for joining us tonight for this